This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
All right, welcome in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. No Greg today. Friday, June 26th, 7 a.m. Glad you're with us. We got a lot to get to today. Got a fun show for you. There will be college football topics. James Colgan joins us at 8 a.m. Georgia offseason, but not the way you're thinking about it. Not many people think that a golf course has been critical for the Georgia offseason. James has a story up now as to why it has been and the importance of it. We'll discuss that today at 8 a.m. Also, John Bryce will be with us at 9 a.m. today. He recently had a conversation with new Kentucky head coach Will Stein, and we'll get some thoughts on just how that went, what his expectation is, what he's looking for now, as to just sort of how that's going to go. Also, Matt Moscona going to join us at 7:20 this morning to talk LSU. I want to start with this. You guys watched Team USA last night?
Yes.
How do you watch, and this is what I want to ask our listeners. Now, we're going to have some experts. I get it. Some people in the know. I understand that. How are you watching this World Cup? Do you watch it with constant question? Do you care about the things that you don't know? Are you researching the things that you don't know? Are you looking to figure out the ways that this game operates, the rules, why people do things? Or is it just a casual watch for you? Hey, I'm go Team USA. Let's get it done.
That's where I am. It's a casual watch, and if I have anything that's like, oh, I want to, dive in and kind of see what's going on, I'll look it up. But other than that, it's more of just.
You're not interested in the hows and whys?
Nah.
I was very intrigued last night. We watched this with the group of friends. We had a Sunday school class get together, and so all the guys are kind of watching it. And we did have one friend, I actually asked him to call into the show today, that had the answers to everything. And he goes, no, I've actually been a soccer fan for 4 days, but I've just been looking it all up and figuring it out on my own. I'm like, well, you should just call in and be our soccer expert, because I can't get anybody else to come on the show and talk about soccer, even though I've tried relentlessly. Is there a shot clock to throw the ball in? I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Technically, no. But I think you'll lose the throw-in if you don't, if you're just hanging there.
So it's like NBA where it's like a 10.
What is it, though? Is 5?
It's like a field.
12?
I don't think it's
18.
Like with the extra time, it's not a set something. It's just a.
That was a big topic of conversation last night, too.
So I just eyeball it.
Now, I'm going to do this, and I probably shouldn't do this because this is, there's probably some unwritten rule here, like in baseball, that I shouldn't do this. I don't think the broadcasters are doing a very good job. Something like that, I feel like, could be explained very easily. As you stated, John, the extra time. Now, this may actually be the fault of the officials. I don't know. It never feels like the extra time is explained. So it's +6.
Right.
But then we'll go an extra 7:42. Okay, why do we get the extra minute 42? Why did we get to 6? Is it because Damian Mitchell kicked the guy in the shin in the 42nd minute, and that added 3?
Right.
And then John Saber pushed the guy in minute 58, and that gives us a 1. Is it just a literal guessing game? I don't know the answer to this. And last night was – so I have to try to put everything in football terms or another sport that understand terms. I mean, last night was essentially Georgia in the SEC championship game, right? They're in.
They're in.
They're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Really doesn't matter. My 8-year-old came home from camp yesterday, and I guess he and his friends had been talking about it. He goes, Dad, Team USA tonight, they're undefeated no matter what happens. And I was like, now hold on a second.
No, hold on.
That is not exactly accurate. He goes, no. If they lose, it's okay. They're still undefeated. I'm like, no. The loss is actually going to be a loss.
Correct.
It'll show up in the record. I said, now, it will not affect them moving to the next round, to the next group, but no, Joey at camp told me they're undefeated. If they go, I was like, Joey's confused on what undefeated means, and that's okay. But no, they actually will have a loss on the record, even though it won't affect them. So they play 9 new starters last night.
Yeah.
I was like, Kirby Smart would never.
No, it's like the NFL team that's resting their starters in Week 17.
NFL coaches would. Kirby Smart. Gunnar Stockton's going, man.
100%.
He's playing.
Can he breathe?
That's it. He's out there. We did see Christian Pulisic in the 58th minute. He's been out for a while. USA's best player. Also, there's other parts of this, and I wanted to have this segment of the show, and I know the phones are going to ring 800-239-9569. I get it. We're going to have people correct us and tell us how dumb we are. That's fine. Y'all know we don't do this.
Right.
It's okay. And some of y'all can have y'all's moment, and good for you. We'll let you shine today.
Yeah, you got
Today is your day. We got trophies lined up to hand out to you. We got giant Super Bowl GBBA rings that you can win for showing up here today. I watched this, and I wanted to know if people watch this with constant question like I do.
Yes.
Now, I get it, the whole falling down and acting like you're dead. And it's like the one dude got kicked last night and like rips his sock. And he needed emergency assistance at that moment. But I'm also kind of like, you got a shin guard on.
Correct.
I mean,
is it a faulty
that
system?
didn't hurt. I mean, I know it didn't hurt. So I've gotten to the point now with the whole faking death. It's a part of it. It's an unfortunate part of it that like trying to ask for a pass interference on every deep throw, like flopping in basketball.
Yeah.
Like trying to draw these D linemen that are now trying to draw a hold by putting their hands out and flapping their hands around it. Like we've gotten to that point now where, and I'm sure it happened in this sport long before some of these other ones we're talking about with the other examples. Like it is what it is. I don't even get mad at that anymore. But here was a question last night. What is the start of a soccer game called?
Commencement? I don't know.
Is it?
Well, I'm sorry. I should say it's match, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Don't know.
Per AI, it's kickoff. I didn't know that.
Kickoff.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean.
But I think that's what we would have said.
Right.
But I didn't know if that was really the real name.
Wasn't confident in the answer.
Yeah.
Yes. Like kickoff.
I don't know if Zoltan calls it a kickoff, but I feel like that's what we should call it.
Yeah.
I mean, FSU Dave wants to chime in on the Higginbotham hotline. Welcome in, Dave.
Hey, Cole. How are you guys doing this morning?
Great. Thank you.
Okay. As far as the time to throw the ball, I've been a soccer fan my whole life. I grew up in another country, so that's part of it. But you technically have 5 seconds to throw the ball in, or it's supposed to go to the other side. Now, as far as the extra time goes, in this World Cup, because they're doing the hydration breaks halfway through each half, that's 3 minutes. So you're going to start at 3 minutes and then add on to it. Now, several World Cups ago.
Now, hold on. They're adding 3 minutes of extra time no matter what.
No matter what. Exactly
okay.
Right. And so then a couple World Cups ago, they actually time how long the ball was out of play. And they found out that the referees on the field had always just sort of kept it by, I'm going to say guesstimate. We're way off, and it needs to be a lot longer. Now, when you said they had +6 and it went to 7:42 or whatever it was, that's because during the 6 minutes of extra, the ball goes out more. So then he's actually told over his headset how much to add on to it, and it goes from there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It still feels like just a bit of a judgment call at some point, of just a kind of a guess. But okay, I got you.
Correct, and especially since we're used to seeing the clock on all of our games, counting down, we're not used to that as a general rule. But yesterday it was very smart. Now the guys are starting to understand how Pochettino wants them to play, and to put it in your football terms, he plays a high press with a man-on-man defense. In other words, think of a front seven that's over-aggressive. The ends are pinching, the linebackers are blitzing on every play, but yet you trust your DBs, your safeties, and your corners to go man-to-man. That's the style that Mauricio wants us to play, if that makes sense to you.
Is that the biggest difference in what this team does, or is it just talent? Is it scheme or talent with the biggest difference of this USA team?
I'm going to say it's a combination because this is the most talent we've ever had in my lifetime, and I'm older than you.
Okay.
We've never had this much talent all together. We've had some phenomenal players, like Gio Reyna's dad might have been our best player ever. He could have played for Argentina, Claudio Reyna. But it's a combination of that and the fact that they're now catching on and they're knowing what to do. Like when you look at Australia, who was going to play a total prevent defense, let's call it. He used 2 forwards instead of 1. So therefore they couldn't double team as much. So he's forcing the issues. If you think about it, to use Damian's terms, say the forward and a midfielder, say on the left side, would be like having 2 wide receivers and one knows to go in when something happens, the other knows to go out. So everybody's knowing how to rotate and where to go now, and it's made a hell of a difference.
Let me ask you this. Why does he look like he worked at Jiffy Lube in the morning and then came in to coach the team in the evening?
Well, why does a certain coach that used to be in New England that's now at North Carolina look the same way?
No, this guy looks much more cleaned up than Belichick. Looks like he's at least had a shower. So,
okay, fair enough.
Not even close. Okay, thank you.
I have no idea because he's making the most we've ever paid anybody, so there's really no excuse.
What's he making?
The understanding is that it's around $2 million. And we also pay our women's coach, who we took from being England's, who's considered the best female coach in the world, and she's making over $1 million.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you this because I don't know either, but like this was a topic of conversation last night. Like, should we be bothered? Should it bother us that the Team USA coach is not from USA? Like,
not at all.
See, I don't know
Not
about
at
that,
all.
man. Like,
it's
Team USA.
Better? Correct, but look at most of the teams across Europe. They don't have.
I've never
from their
done that,
country
so I
either.
can't do that. I can't make that reference point. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how it works.
Well, the head coach of Alabama is not from Alabama. The head coach of North Carolina is not from North Carolina. So
the only way I get the only way that I would be able to say it is like, what if Bear Bryant had gone on to coach Auburn? Like, people would be mad. I get it, but it's a little different. Like, he was representing Alabama or Auburn. Like, this gentleman is representing the United States of America, and it's supposed to be Team USA. Not team, let's borrow from the globe that plays in USA.
Also how some of the players get there, too. They're not all necessarily from the United States. They could have a parent.
Oh, so we're taking the Olympic model now? Where it's like if your great-grandmother
that's kind of how FIFA is, yes. Either
an off-season in Spain, you can go play for Spain?
If you're born there, your parents or grandparents were born there, or if you've lived there for 5+ years, you can play for that team.
That's much looser than go watch Olympic women's basketball.
Changed.
Like, I know her. She played at UConn. Like, her great aunt spent a summer abroad in Switzerland, so she plays for them.
Well, but to Saber's point, we've always traditionally had a lot of servicemen's kids. That
correct, yes.
The kid was born in Germany from normally an army or whatever father and a German woman. So then he's eligible to play for either country, but yet he chose us. And some of our best players are that way. Balogun could have played for 3 countries. He was born in the United States when his parents were visiting. They're from Nigeria, and then he grew up in England, so he had the chance to play for all 3. But we don't have a coach, I don't believe, of the level of our current coach. And a lot of these countries, the coaches are not from that country for the national team. And part of it is a lot of these guys want to coach, like Pochettino coached PSG, and he coached Tottenham, 2 of the biggest clubs in the world. But when you're coaching a national team, you're not around them as much. And a lot of them would rather coach, a big top-tier team in one of the 5 main leagues.
Okay.
So that's also part of it. But he's an amazing coach, and we were lucky to get him.
Wow. Thank you very much, FSU, Dave. I have one more question. Is he gone? I have one more question that I feel like Dave may have been answered, and maybe you two have thought the same thing. It's an important one.
Oh, boy.
Who did Team USA play last night?
Oh,
Turkey.
yeah, Turkey. The country formerly known as Turkey.
That's good, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
2022.
Yeah, not too long ago.
2000. I did look that up because I was like, wait a minute.
Okay, what's
Am I
our
tripping?
reasoning for this?
Embarrassment?
Just feelings?
Pretty much of
In
like
essence,
they don't want to
embarrassment?
be associated with the animal. I'm serious. Like, yeah, that's the only reason they kind of changed it.
I mean, they're a big country now. People go there and get their hair.
They literally added letters and like symbols, tilde, whatever, the colon, sideways colon,
Right,
like
yeah.
that. This is complete reinvention.
They pulled
of
a Marcel Darius. They're like, hey, no, I'm Marcel Darius. No. They told people how to
Achan?
pronounce it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
It's been
much.
this way all the time. Why haven't y'all done this?
Theismann.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
But it's just not from
Turkey. Yay.
Turkey. Like it almost looks like it's in a different language now.
In essence, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They went from high school to college and didn't want to be known as that name, so their freshman year they have a beret and change their name.
Is that Turkey? No.
In other words, you fancy, huh?
pretty much.
Yeah, this is the first this tournament. I had seen it a little bit earlier, and I'm like, now wait a second, is that who I think it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure enough.
I'm just waiting for like the third week in November to see a bunch of those red flags with the little moons on the side of them at people's dinners.
Yeah, but that's the reason is the country formerly known as Turkey.
I was just curious watching this last night. Do people have as many questions about this as I do? And I feel like, and I'm not trying to, I get it. They're calling something that they are so familiar with. It actually made me think about calling games, saying maybe I need to like rewind to some of the most simple things that are out there on occasion.
Or even on the show, there's some times where y'all talk about gap scheme and various other things that I know a good number of people listen are like, well, what's that?
Yep, it's fair. We used to do that. We used to like reel us in, but there are big moments that happen and not a number is given.
True.
Not like Fox paid $750 million for this. Did they not have telestrators? Circle a guy and tell me he's the one I need to be watching.
Yes.
Because they're like, Ibrahimovic here is the one we need. And no, I think he's good. I'm like, I don't know who he is. I don't know what color hair he has.
Correct.
Like, give me the portion of the screen that he's on. Because I don't know if it's top right-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, middle of the screen. Just like, give me an area of the screen that I'm watching of pay attention to that guy to see if he's going to do this or not. Or number 46.
Right.
That might help a little.
You have to squint a little bit to find them, but okay, I'll watch.
Now, I've seen these telestrators. You have like a circle you can hit. You can draw.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch. You can highlight a guy. We can number system, do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like
there's ways to
arrows, like they come across. Like just give me something with it.
There's
other
ways
than
around
whatever
this.
that CGI generated offsides thing we did with. And by the way, that's an imaginary line. Think of the context in big moments that you're referencing there. Like we talk about pass interference or calling a foul.
Yeah.
That begins with a, quote, imaginary line.
We're cooked.
It's literally whatever the ref wants it to be at that point then. No. It was right there. Why? Because I imagined it there.
Like, imagine if you're there and it's like, what just happened? You got to look at the big screen.
Okay. That was either the worst segment we've ever done or one of the most interesting segments we've ever done.
I think it was interesting.
Depending on if people watch like we do.
FSU Dave, he cleaned it all up. He got us together.
Okay.
He made great references on the football side of saying, like, hey, this is like all-out blitz, zero coverage. Like, this is what we're doing now. I'm here for it.
Russell Terry tweets in, FIFA is using international spellings and pronunciations. It's weird, but that's what's going on. At least Turkey didn't lay an egg last night. I think you meant Turkey.
Yeah. Joke's on you. They can't. They're mammals.
Okay. We will move on from that. When we come back, we've talked about some of these defensive linemen at LSU. What's the real story as to how that's going? Also, Lane Kiffin commentary on his quarterback and his health earlier this week. Matt Moscona joins us to kind of catch us up on where LSU is right now. Next, right here on Jocks.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, three-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.
Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 7:23, Friday, June 26th, right here on Jocks. We've actually mentioned a lot of LSU in the last week and a half. Wanted to get Matt Moscona on to just kind of clear the air on some things of what's happening. Matt, first start with these freshman defensive linemen. Heard a lot of buzz, some from Baton Rouge, some from just recruiting analysts, but it feels like, one, there may be room for them to actually compete, contribute, be a real part of what LSU is going to be this year. And then two, they just might be that good. What are your expectations for the incoming freshmen assisting this Blake Baker defensive line this upcoming season?
Yeah, cool. Well, three of them are going to play, and they're going to be part of the rotation. So, and in spring, remember, so Lamar Brown is probably the headliner, right? He's the number one player in the country. He's from U-High and Baton Rouge. He was not an early enrollee, so he did not go through spring football. Now, he goes to school on LSU's campus, so he was there every day at practice, but he was just observing. He was not participating. But Lamar Brown's going to play edge, and he will be part of the rotation. Remember, they suffered an injury to Gabe Relaford during spring. In ACL, he's done for the year. So their numbers are already thin there. So Lamar Brown, like Cole, I wouldn't be surprised if like literally the first defensive series he's rotating in. And then on the interior, you had Richard Anderson, who's a 5-star from New Orleans. He was the number one defensive tackle in the country. And then a kid out of Georgia named Deuce Geralds. When they would go 11 on 11 in spring, and I know Lane didn't do this at Ole Miss. I don't know why he did necessarily at LSU in his first spring, but he let us watch the entire practice for the second half of spring. So, I mean, everything. Like, come watch the whole thing. 11 on 11, scrimmages, all of it. And when they would run with the ones, they would rotate 5 defensive tackles. And 2 of them were Richard Anderson and Deuce Geralds, the true freshmen. So all that to say, like Malik Blockton was one of them. I know your audience knows from his time at Auburn. They have a Clemson transfer named Stephylan Green. And then Dom McKinley, who's a former 5-star, as a junior now at LSU. But long answer, but all that to say, Cole, like those 3 guys are absolutely part of the rotation and will play a lot.
Seriously, what do people say about going to school at University Lab? Is that like super cool? Is that like, would people rather not do that? Like, I know a lot of our listening audience doesn't really understand what it is. Like, there's Southern Lab that's on the campus of Southern. There's University Lab that's literally on the campus of LSU. Which the coolest thing, I think, maybe almost all time of Nick Saban's tenure was like he had 3 starters from University Lab one time when he was coaching at Alabama. And I didn't realize it until I did one of their games. And I'm like, hold on. This guy's got 3 starters that went to high school on LSU's campus. Like, that's pretty wild to think about. But, like, what is that like?
So the point you just made, it's interesting because there are some guys who just love it, and they grow up around LSU. I mean, in the shadows. If you go, Cole, if you go to a baseball game at LSU at Alec Box, and you look beyond the left field wall, like the baseball field right there is U-High's baseball field. I mean, it's literally on campus. So some guys love it, and they want to go to LSU because they grew up on campus, and it's a dream they've always had. And some guys want to get away. I don't think that's any different than like any other high school in America in a college town. Like, I'm sure guys that go to Auburn High, or some probably love Auburn and want to go there, and some want to get out of town. So, and Nick obviously had a great relationship from his time here with a lot of those guys. And look, U-High has been a great football program over the last decade, really, 10 to 15 years. And so they produce a lot of high-level Division I athletes in all different sports, but namely football. And so, sometimes LSU has to pick and choose. Like, are those guys that are – I'll give you an example. So Ryan Clark, who many people know, he was an ESPN analyst, played at LSU, was all SEC. Ryan's son Jordan went to U-High. But LSU didn't offer Jordan. So Jordan went to Arizona State, then Notre Dame to finish his career. So sometimes there's that component of it, but really it just depends on the kid. But Lamar Brown, for example, was one that wanted to stay home and always had an eye on LSU, and it really worked LSU's favor there.
All right, so Kiffin says earlier in the week, Sam Leavitt's full strength. This has been a slight concern of mine. I think it's been a little bit understated. People just automatically plug him in as, hey, everything's going to be great, but it's still an injury you had to overcome. It's one that in other instances in sports has been reoccurring, which I think you have to at least take into consideration. Where is sort of Sam Leavitt with the offense and his health based on what you know right now?
So during spring, so for those that don't know, he had a Lis Frank, and so he had surgery, missed basically half the season. The surgery was in November, or no, it was October. I'm sorry, and he missed basically half the season with Arizona State. He was limited in spring. He was out there every day, but mostly just in tennis shoes and standing around by the quarterbacks. Did very little. What we know as of now is that two things that we're aware of. Number one, Lane Kiffin said that on the GPS devices they use, he was up to 21 miles an hour running, so he's running full. And then Leavitt posted a video of him dunking on the goalpost on the indoor facility. So seems good. Now I can tell you I have not been to any of the workouts. Media is not allowed to go to any of these June workouts, but I have spoken to staff members, and they say he's a full go. He's fully participating in everything. And Cole, I agree with you, man. I'm of the belief that whatever LSU's ceiling is this year, they will only approach it if Sam Leavitt is healthy and playing like the guy that got Arizona State to the college football playoff 2 years ago. Because, like we just mentioned, the media got to watch a lot of spring, and there's talent on this team. I don't know that there's great depth, but one thing is true, that the other two quarterbacks that they brought in this portal cycle are talented young players, but they in no way look like they're ready to lead a playoff run. So if LSU is going to be that in year one under Kiffin, Leavitt's got to be healthy and ready to go.
Here's something Greg and I kind of disagreed on yesterday, and it's the offensive line. Listen, I've watched Jordan Seaton. His ceiling is as high as any offensive lineman in college football right now, no doubt. I mean, the David Sanders kid at Tennessee would be up there. There's not many that move like him, can do physically the things that he can do inside that frame. It's incredible. He's still one guy. There was more than one guy that was the problem last year. And some of it was scheme, system, play calling. I mean, you and I have talked about that on this show and your show before.
Yep.
But I don't think it just magically repairs itself, not even repairs itself, but becomes good or great, which some people are just automatically assuming. What is your outlook of that group as we sit here today?
Yeah, there was good in spring and there was not good. They really had two choices, Cole, because this is unequivocally true. The offensive line at LSU last year was the worst position group on the team. Like there's no debating that. It was the worst position group on the team. But they had a bunch of highly recruited guys, some 4 and 5 stars that had played a lot. I think I counted up, they had maybe 9 or 10 guys that had SEC experience after last season. And so the new staff came in and they really had two decisions. Do you run it back with a bunch of guys who have experience but didn't play very well, or do you just blow it up and remake the whole thing? Well, they decided to blow it up and remake the whole thing. And the one guy they retained was Braylon Moore, the center, who was their best offensive lineman last year. Best of a bad group, but he had a solid year. And they just decided, let's go remake this whole thing. And so they've added guys with experience. I mean, you mentioned Seaton. Alu Baz, the guy who came in from Maryland, he's a 2-year starter. Actually started his career at Georgia, and he's a 2-year starter in the Big Ten. They got a battle at left guard. And one of the holdovers, Weston Davis, may end up winning the right tackle job. So look, the real challenge, not that you don't know this, but it's getting enough time on task where 5 can play together as one, and none of these guys have played together. So that's really the challenge. I think what you have with this group is a collection of players that are more accomplished college football players than what they had before, but you certainly lack continuity. And I think you still have a big question: who's going to play left guard and who's going to play right tackle?
How have your expectations changed since the Lane Kiffin hire was made and all the excitement was generated to the highest level to now? And that could be more so, could be more wins, Fewer wins? Like where was your expectation then? Where is it today?
For year one?
Correct.
Or so the day they hired him, it would have been impossible to give you an expectation that day because that was before the portal and they remade the entire roster. I mean, Cole, they brought in 42 transfers. So, I mean, but if you asked me then, like when the roster was set after the portal, I think they went and spent like a team that expects to make the college football playoff this year. Now, I think looking at them, their first 22 could be as good as anybody in the SEC. I really worry about their depth on both sides of the ball, but I think that's probably a commonality and a reality for every team in college football today. I think it's really hard to build good veteran depth, but it really comes back to Leavitt, Cole. The team that I saw in spring, I would not project to make the college football playoff. But the team I saw in spring didn't have their starting quarterback. So I don't want, when people ask me this question, I don't want to cop out because, I mean, our job is to give opinions. But it really is, they have to have Sam Leavitt healthy and playing like a quarterback capable of getting a team to the playoff. Because if Leavitt's not there, if you tell me Leavitt gets hurt and they have to rely on Landon Clark or Hussam Longstreet, then I think this is probably a 7 or 8 win team. And for a roster that's pushing $50 million, that would be a massive disappointment.
It can be interesting to see. Appreciate the time today. Great catching us up on LSU, Matt. Look forward to doing it again soon. I guess we'll see you in Tampa.
Yep, see you in Tampa.
There you go. Matt Moscona joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Does radio there in Baton Rouge, covers LSU. One thing he said that I want to have a further discussion on, and that is the LSU roster. Could it be the best in the SEC? We'll discuss it next right here on Jocks.
The capital of the sports talk nation. This is Jocks 94.5 and JocksFM.com. Birmingham.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy Cubelic in the morning. Interesting comment there from Matt Moscona talking LSU and where that roster actually could end up being in the Southeastern Conference. And I believe the comment from Matt was that this could end up being the most talented. Did he say most talented roster in the SEC? Or just the best roster in the SEC? And see, that's where I get I think Greg is on par with me mostly with this. I think he's a little bit ahead of me on this. But like I just – if you wanted to go maybe just talent, ability, ceiling, okay, they're up there. First off, they're not number one. They're not going to be ahead of Texas. They're not. They aren't. I don't think they're ahead of Georgia. They're not. I think you have a very interesting discussion with Texas A&M. You could maybe have the discussion with Oklahoma. We just did this with Ole Miss yesterday. We took Ole Miss. Did we not? It was close, but it was Ole Miss.
Yeah.
We went position by position. Who would you take? Who would you want? I'll tell you another one that would be interesting is Florida. If you sat right now, here's the problem with this. All of the portal grading and all of the hype and all the discussion around a guy or two, and it's hard because like even Greg did this yesterday when we talked about this. He kept talking about the system, but the coaching. It's like, no, we're just talking about the players, just the guys. The dudes that are going to be in uniform. Would you take Florida's roster right now or would you take LSU's roster right now? I'm just telling you it's closer than you think it is.
I'm having to think.
Now, I think Greg he loves the LSU wide receivers, but Eric Singleton, Dallas Wilson, Micah Mays, Vernell Brown, I think that's a Florida lean. Running back ain't close. It isn't. Offensive line, toss, maybe LSU just because Jordan Seaton's potential. Tight ends, LSU. Quarterback, it's probably LSU. Now, D-line, this is where the whole freshman thing is going to come into play. If this Lamar Brown kid, Richard Anderson, Deuce Geralds, if three of those play 10, 15 snaps a game, 10, 12 snaps a game and help and are good, it's going to put them ahead of some folks. And maybe that with some other freshmen is why Matt's willing to say, hey, this might be the most talented roster in the league. But I think so many people are just taking it and putting it way ahead of the pack. Or they're putting them right there with Texas and Georgia. I'm just like, man, I can't do that. I don't know if they're a more talented roster than Texas A&M. I think Oklahoma's got a good case. So, but we have this mindset has been built that this is the most expensive roster in college football, so therefore it has to be the best. No, they paid $90 million. I mean, I don't know what the numbers that people think that they know, whatever it is. But it doesn't make it the best. It doesn't make them the best football players, and it doesn't make them the most talented individuals. It just doesn't. And it shouldn't be the one that you would say you'd most like to have going into the season. Because there's still some unprovens there. And we heard him talking about it. You got an offensive line transfer from Colorado. You got an offensive line transfer from Georgia, Maryland. You got a D-line transfer from Clemson. Like, is it going to work? We don't know. It might work. It might be great. But it also might not be as good as people are thinking right now. And I had Kalen DeBoer on my podcast yesterday, and it kind of got me thinking about some of the things that we were talking about with him when we referenced development and culture. And it got me thinking about how important all of these things are right now in college football. Like, how do you piece it together? This is what Indiana and Cignetti have mastered the last 2 years, is figuring out how to make it work as one. It's hard today because the mentality has changed. The mentality is different. The care level is less. The give a rip is less. Now, is this having a system that is easier to learn? Is this getting guys that know how to learn a system earlier and faster? Is this just finding guys that care more? And how do you do that? How do you find guys that have more care inside of them? I mean, are we literally walking around giving personality tests to kids? You can talk to like John, Damien, we can go call a coach at South Alabama and say, what was this kid like? But it doesn't give us the definitives of he's going to come in here and he's going to work his tail off and he's going to grind every day and he's going to want to be the best person in that building. It may appear to be that way, may look that way, but it might not. That might not be it. And then how do you mesh with the other guys around you? And that's kind of what I think that's the missing link right now in college football. It's the one that we can't determine, we can't find, we can't locate, and we're not going to know it until probably more than halfway through the season. Because there were some teams through the first half of last year. We know there were teams going into the season. Hell, LSU was one of them. We thought they were going to be great. Quarterback, 5-star running back, defense, linebacker, all of it. No, didn't work. They had talent at receiver, tight end, the first-round quarterback. It didn't work. And a lot of reasons it didn't, and not pointing fingers at any of those individuals, but a lot of reasons it didn't work. And maybe, just maybe, if you wanted to push this the other way and say, well, what are the reasons it could work at LSU outside of cost of roster and potential ceiling of the talent? Didn't Lane kind of do this at Ole Miss? Didn't he kind of figure out how to make it work? Didn't he kind of figure out how to get the continuity closer than it had been? Now, it took him a little bit, and he had to adjust some things along the way. And let's be real, there were a couple of those early teams that are somewhat masked as to how good the actual team was because of some of the real flashy, cool things they were doing. But they weren't getting a lot of short yardage pickups. They weren't grinding games out. They weren't beating people up front on defense. That came over time. But what he did do is figure out how to take this new age of college football with the portal and new guys and new faces and guys who seemingly didn't care or didn't want to be somewhere, and created some kind of weird culture that just sort of worked. Because I will give him credit for that. It worked. And he's figured that part out. So maybe that experience gives him some massive advantages of what it's going to be like at LSU. But that's the part that we don't know. That's the part that we're not going to be able to figure out. We can go to media days. We can go to fall practice. We can sit here and interview these guys. We don't know how much teams are going to come together and how much teams are going to care. Maybe this is not even a new discussion from any other year that we should have been having. I just think it was a given a lot of times before, when we can look at, they have 4 offensive linemen that are coming back. 3 have started. They've been in this system together for 4 and 5 years. 2 of those are red shirts. 2 of those are 3-year starters. One of them's been there an extra year than the other guy. Like, they know one another. This quarterback and receiver tandem, or these 3 receivers and this quarterback, they've been working 7-on-7 on air for 3.5 years. They know each other. They know when he's breaking out of an out route early. They know where to throw the back shoulder for this guy. They know when he's not going to get his head around on a certain route, so give it a little extra time before you throw that. They know those things. We don't know if these guys know these things about each other anymore. So, yes, we're going to take cost of roster, ceiling, what they may potentially be one day, and we're going to roll that into, oh, well, that just means they're going to be good. Not how it works. But I will not say this. LSU is the most talented roster in the SEC. Even if you get help from 5-star defensive tackles, they're not above Texas, they're not above Georgia, and I think you can make an argument about a couple of other teams. We'll continue the conversation next right here on Jock.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, 3-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Lots to get to today. James Colgan coming up at 8 a.m. He will talk Georgia offseason, how a golf course has been a major player, major factor in that. If we went confidence points of this upcoming season, we took LSU. How many SEC teams would you have ahead of LSU? How many teams would you look at and say, I just think right now they're going to be a better football team than LSU? Because I do think the confidence on LSU, that scale differs amongst people. Some way up, some kind of up, some wait and see. I don't think anybody has it down. I don't think anybody looks at it and says, oh, yeah, they're just not going to be able to get it going this year. And the coaches are too good, and the overall talent level, I do think, is too good for that to happen. However, where would you rank them in the SEC? If you're just going confidence points of how good these teams are going to be. Is it 1 team, 3 teams, 4 teams? I'm going to ask you right now, Sabre, you play along with me. Going to be better than LSU or not this upcoming season? Ole Miss.
Yes.
Georgia.
Yes.
Texas A&M.
No.
Let's sort of asterisk that one because that's the one I think we need to spend more time talking about.
Okay.
Right now, I would say yes. Alabama.
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
Oklahoma.
No.
Vanderbilt.
No.
Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida.
No, maybe. Probably not.
Okay, we're going to leave A&M and Florida out to the side. Auburn.
No.
Apparently, I need to gas Auburn up a little bit more.
Oh, correct.
Because the people are saying that I never gas Auburn
There's
up.
a possible chance that they could do. Oh, wait, you should be saying it, not me. Sorry.
Mississippi State, South Carolina, Arkansas.
No.
Okay, so I have between 4 and 7 in there somewhere.
I had 5 in my head before we started, so I think I routed 4. I feel like I didn't mention Georgia or Tech or whatever, one of them other schools, but I had in my head like they were flirting with being a top 5 team in the SEC, but not definitely in like 1, 2, or 3.
But we are not talking, not we, us, not you two, Greg, me, the college football talking heads, the people who cover it. They are not talking about LSU as a top 5 SEC team. LSU is being talked about as a top 3 or top 2 SEC team. Would you agree with that?
Feels like a top 5 playoff seed almost.
There you like
right.
Top 5 national team maybe, and maybe that is 3 SEC teams ahead of them. But there are not a lot of people that are talking about LSU as, oh yeah, they might creep into the top 5 of the SEC. It's not really how they're being discussed right now. So if you go through those other teams and kind of where they are, is there one that you would disagree with, Damian, or you would throw out there and say no, they're definitely better than that team, or there's another team that needs to be considered that you think they will be better than?
Who all did you say that was definitively? It was Alabama,
Georgia, Texas. We flirted with A&M and
Ole Miss better.
Florida, Ole Miss for sure. Yeah.
I'd put Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, I think, is a possible.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it kind of rides on John Mateer, but I think defensively there's not as many question marks for Oklahoma. And, like, they can win in the ugly fashion. Whereas, I mean, if LSU takes the identity of Lane did early on when he was at Ole Miss, where it's going to be, fun and gun and we'll score a ton of points, are they going to be able to stop anybody defensively? I don't know, man. Like, LSU, to me, I'm not ready to put them in the college football playoff discussion. Like, I think the SEC, the top teams that are ahead of them, like, they're going to have to play some of those guys. So I think that
they're playing Texas. They're playing Alabama. They're playing A&M. They're playing Ole Miss.
Like, we're going to see. And I have more confidence in those other teams than I do in LSU right now because of just so much turnaround.
And by the way, you play Tennessee, Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky on the road. Those are not easy things to do.
No.
There's not easy places to go play and win games. So, I mean, you're going to Arkansas last week of the regular season. You're going to Tennessee the week before that. And those are not comfortable environments to go play in.
Correct.
So, we're looking at the schedule. We're looking at what we think about other teams. Now, not that their knowns are light years ahead of where LSU's knowns and unknowns are.
Right.
So a lot of this is still hypothesizing about what we think they could be, might be, can be. But if you're looking at best case scenario being 2 losses, you catch fire, whatever, okay. But it doesn't feel like undefeated is a reality. So it's like, where Correct. Are they with 2? Where are they with 4 losses? How are they viewed? How are they looked at?
It's going to be hot.
By the way, we haven't mentioned Clemson.
Correct. That's to open the season.
So it's going to be a fun watch because I think there are parts of it that you should get excited about. There are parts of it that you look at and say, man, that could be awesome. That could be elite. That could be really cool to watch. And then the other parts you say, hold on a second. Like I don't know. We're banking on freshman D tackles. The offensive line just repairs itself. And not even repair, but repairs and then leaps ahead.
Right.
Receivers talent, but new quarterback, new system with those new receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive depth overall. Where is that? I mean, that was a different defense when they lost Whit Weeks last year.
Yep. So, are they going to run the ball?
Will they hand the ball off?
Back-to-back plays.
Sure. A lot of questions. James Colgan joins us next.
This is McElroy and Cubelic in the morning.
Full Send Golf, part of the Full Send podcast.
All right, the Full Send Golf channel. I was like, let's go to the range. Then fell in love with it.
This pod is about to be crazy. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Join the party on the golf course.
You guys know how much I really, really love golf.
All right, Salim, we got 2 putts to break 80 here.
Get it there, right?
You wouldn't want it any other way, brother.
These are the ones we practice. Go.
Yeah!
Oh, let's go. 80s stroke. Yeah, even though it's from the Reds.
It's just like a boy's scrap.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Square up.
Yo, what's going on, man? It's Andre Berto, 2-time world champion. Today's guest, NFL legend, media mogul. Shit. What's up? Ocho Cinco. What's good, baby? We call them gym fighters. Yeah. These guys are in the gym, they can probably beat the hell out of any world champion you can think of.
Yeah. When that bell ring, and them lights on, you got 10, 15,000 watching. When I stepped in that ring, I think boxing is becoming great again.
Square up.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Let's go.
Hey there, I'm Paula Pan. I help people make the smartest money decisions possible. If you don't control your money, it controls you.
Yeah, you're not in control of your finances and you have to look outside of yourself to live the life that you want. You're not in control. You're like, what is it that you actually want?
Money should follow the dreams and goals, because sometimes we make the dream and goal the money and you've overworked yourself and you've exceeded what you've needed for the actual thing you want. Sometimes we forget, what's the actual thing you want?
Afford anything. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.